For example, if a person has suffered a severed digit that was sewn back on, chemotherapy can be prescribed to stimulate blood flow and prevent clotting as the repair heals. Leeches of a compound
Everybody
in the
gangster
saliva
till
called herodin
everybody gangster till somebody gets a disease.
They're not the only creepy crawly that might be prescribed these days either. Maggot therapy is still being used in some cases as well.
I think you away all the dead flesh.
Okay, it doesn't mean that people like me are okay with it.
Have you ever heard someone recommend you go outside and get some fresh air because it'll do you good? Turns out there's something to that idea, and doctors are getting on board
Well,
with
if
it.
you would have done well on like the Oregon Trail.
Canada has numerous national parks coast to coast, but these require a payment of an entrance fee. Those who make use of the parks, especially things like camping or fishing, find a Parks Canada Discovery Pass to be a worthwhile investment, as it gives you access to all parks across the country for a whole year. That's over 80 parks.
In Canada? We need to go to Canada.
Do you care about satellite radio in your car? Because Sirius is like coming to me about, like, hey, we have family plans now. We have multiple satellite radios.
Based on evidence that indicates being immersed in nature can reduce anxiety and improve a person's mental and physical well-being.
Mostly in your car, just listen to the phone and stuff anyway.
I mean, will it even work anymore after the whole switch to the 5G?
That has nothing to do with the cellular network.
Oh, does
That
it
is
not?
purely like beamed down from a satellite.
Okay.
Rather than just focusing on a single symptom or condition. That's how you end up getting prescription cooking classes. Loneliness causes health problems and has been recognized by numerous health organizations for some time. Self-isolation is not good. It can lead to an increased risk of all manner of illnesses, both mental and physical. So rather than giving patients medication for the effects of conditions brought on by isolation and loneliness, doctors are getting ahead of the problem. Classes and even walking groups are being prescribed to help people get out or be in the world with others. It was happening even before COVID, so it will probably ramp up once the pandemic is passed, considering it's done with increased isolation. Number 3, fruits and veggies. Everyone knows that they should be using fruits and vegetables, but in a lot of cases that's some people just have unhealthy habits and don't eat properly, while others have fewer opportunities to do so. For some people in food deserts where access to fresh fruits and vegetables is difficult, eating healthy can be a real chore. For others, it can be cost prohibitive to maintain a healthy diet for themselves and their family as prices go up. New York City started a program where doctors could prescribe fruits and vegetables to those with conditions like high blood pressure and poor access to healthy food. The prescriptions are essentially just vouchers for healthy food, and for many people, it's a real benefit. They get to eat better and get healthier, while the food is actually covered, so they're getting some relief on their food bills. The program began at 2 hospitals back in 2013, but has continued for years. Patients receive coupons worth $2 apiece that can be used at hundreds of markets across New York. The Pharmacy Reform Program was adopted in 2017 and gives patients $30 from participating pharmacies to spend on fruits and vegetables. Number 2, bicycles. With doctors prescribing things like nature and healthy foods, it's not a stretch to imagine how a prescription bicycle might fit into that as well. In 2014, doctors in Boston began writing prescriptions as part of the Prescribe a Bike program, which allowed
I am not a substitute, apparently, is what I'm taking from this.
$11 per month. Hubway was the precursor to Blue Bikes, a bicycle sharing program based in Boston that started in 2011. By 2021, they had over 23,000 members. The Prescribe a Bike program is meant to combat obesity, and it's been a success. Another program started in Britain and Portland as well. The UK has its own nationwide initiative. Number 1, radon heating lines. Most people never run afoul of radon gas, but if you do, it may be thanks to it leaking into a house. Some homes have radon detectors in the basement because radon, a radioactive gas that can cause lung cancer, is present in the soil. It's other places in the city gardens and building toxic metals in the basement. And if it does that, well, why would you ever want to be exposed to it? It turns out radon is
Granny's got arthritis. send her to the uranium mines. Get him. For others, it just gives them radiation poisoning.
Or cancer.
That too.
There were 39,000 organ transplants performed in 2020. That's a
Okay. What about it? A lot of organ transplants, I guess. Like, now we're good.
Good.
7 years old. 23 stab wounds.
Oh, I'm not even sure I can stand to watch this one.
Well, oh no.
local wars and political currents of long periods
In
of
we
controversy
go.
over the subjects.
Onward into the
Right into the peak of stupidity of public school.
Subject matter in classrooms presenting the same topics in one. The controversies have been in the past and inspiring the present of social, political, moral, and religious issues. They affect health, both mental and physical, family relationships, and the role of educators in American society. Controversies include the right of parents to demand what information their children receive in government-funded schools, but they also provide services provided by crime
Spudley's got her chin rested on the table.
services such as daycare, nutrition, all generate
Bless you.
You're a sneezy puppy. Or, you're not a puppy, you're a dog. But,
some of the controversies of today regarding political classrooms, social requirements, and some legislation.
These two are like
The law schools.
Yeah, they don't even get to be a big.
turtle puppies. That's my favorite term for a dog now. Oh, I thought you said turtle.
No, I did not say
I mean, a turtle puppy would be pretty nice. Would also be slightly terrifying.
The lost cause. The lost cause myth developed primarily by groups such as the United Forces.
I heard once in my school.
Veterans,
Okay.
SCV, other organizations, it promulgated the myth that slavery was not the root cause of the American Civil War. Alternatively, the South went to war to preserve states' rights, which were protected by the Constitution. In the lost cause,
Okay, right quick. That's what I was taught in school. Is that what you were taught in school?
no.
What are you taught in school?
What did they? Have you gotten to the Civil War?
Well, I got into it in, I think 4th grade, but I don't remember a lot about it.
Do you remember what caused it?
No.
See, that's what, like most of my friends who were raised in the South, like, no, it was about taxes and states' rights and all that. They're like, no, it was about people who wanted wanted to keep slaves.
100% the lost cause is whiskey doctrine that I grew up with in every public school I ever went to. So I've been learning that version, and not just me, every Southerner I know has learned that version since elementary school, and...
I mean, granted, it wasn't until, like, my 30s when I found out about stuff like the Cornerstone speech and other stuff like that about, you know, the Confederacy, but, yeah.
So they straight up tell you guys that it's slavery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the southern states wanted to maintain slavery and, you know, maintain their dominance over their slaves. And, you know, the northerners were like, no.
Uno reverse card.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is the story. I just am like, I have grown up in this alternate reality my entire life, and I didn't realize it was taught differently outside of the South, which is why I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this the version of the Civil War that everybody learns? Like...
No. Well, it's like, I remember the first time I went to the Kennesaw Civil War Railroad Museum, and they had that little movie in there about the general and all the, like, the train that was stolen by the Yankees and all that. They made it sound like the South was like 2 dudes and a box of bullets away from winning the Civil War. You know, they're like, if those damn Yankees would have stolen that train, we'd have won this war. You know, that doesn't mention anything about the fact that Sherman was basically burning down Georgia at the time. You know?
Yeah, we did have bigger problems than that train.
Yeah. But it's like, that was my first real exposure to the, like, revisionist history of, you know, the Civil War that's taught down here.
Oh, I still remember when we were in the Savannah graveyards and you were like, oh my god, the Confederate graves all have this, you know, like the decorations where they like do it based on rank and...
That was here in Lawrenceville.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
They had the little Confederate flags all posted.
And you were just like, oh my god.
Yeah, how the Daughters of the Confederacy coming through and putting down all the little flags on the Confederate graves.
You know, I could be a daughter of the Confederacy. Not that I want to. Not that that's a point of pride. I'm just saying, like...
Just to overlook that, you know.
Slave people were well treated, and for the most part content with their lot in life. The belief in white
That's the
superiority
exact opposite of what happened.
Confederacy was not in any essential way, other groups used their considerable political influence to control how history was taught. The lost cause myth was perpetuated in elementary and secondary classrooms as efforts to develop them have expanded in the late 20th and early 21st century. Rise of revisionism in schools emerged among those who only historical history related school efforts to erase the myths and replace it with historical facts generated and still generates considerable controversy and protests that expanded on remarks on its military bases and other sites honoring the Confederacy, and soldiers. On the kind of luncheon. In 2016, an Alabama third grade student arrived home after a day in school with his hair stabbed. His dad read only lunch money from the advice marketplace. The step was intended to remind his parents of what money was lunch. For some, it was a harmless reminder. To others, it was a means of shame. Particularly susceptible to such shame were students participating in supplementary nutrition systems program or SNAP. SNAP provides low-income Americans with elementary food supplements. SNAP recipients were school-aged children. States have taken steps to reduce SNAP itself a controversial topic. Shame. Examinations or participating in SNAP or with low or negative food account balances were identified publicly through various means. Such students were required to wear wristbands or have their hair stamped or offer different meals than those receiving experience or their meals. Such efforts to identify students of poorer means, exposing them to embarrassment, humiliation, and shame, remain controversial. Lunch shaming remains a source of considerable controversy, despite efforts in some states.
I really feel like little kids deal with enough shame
Oh yeah.
that we don't need to help them by
Yeah, you know, it should have been like a call to
alerting
the,
everyone of their financial circumstances.
it should have been handled with a call to the parents, not
Or an email,
Yeah.
or pretty much...
Literally anything else.
Yes, exactly.
And even the Supreme Court of the United States. In 1987, that Supreme Court rules the teaching of
And the idea of different lunches for them. I mean, it's not like no one is paying for that lunch. It's just not the child themselves. You know, I'm like, what are you giving them gruel and the other kids get the chicken nuggets and pizza?
A lot of times, if they even get like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and like a piece of fruit instead of like a full lunch other kids would get. I've seen it happen in schools.
Oh my god. People suck.
I know.
How controversial? In Kentucky, it's possible that state park where fossils from the plastic
What?
I always laugh every time I drive by that.
years ago were found.
Love driving past that. Have a picture of the sign on my phone.
Did they even think about when they were making it?
Through Michigan up to exit 69, Road.
Maybe you did. I don't know, it's hard to say.
Is that where it is?
No.
It's in Michigan.
The Big Bone Lick or whatever is in Kentucky.
I'm interested.
By some to be inappropriate.
Well, next time you go up to Michigan with mom, make sure you keep an eye out for it.
I'm sure your mom's aware of it.
What?
Respond to pressure from those who consider them damaging to young psyches or vice versa. The argument against banning one book is based on the precedent it sets. One book can be banned, any book can be banned.
True, though.
And we like banning books here
Yep.
for all of our free speech and
Librarians and educators language considered reported on literacy. Later, in the banned books, a revised version replaced
I mean, how, well, I hate to slightly agree, but, like, I also don't agree, but,
it's a complicated issue.
Student dress codes and standards.
no, of
I
course.
feel like
So-
Huckleberry Finn is a book meant for older kids.
I read Huckleberry Finn when I was a kid.
Oh, so did I.
You know, the uncensored version.
Yes.
You know? And yeah, and it was just like I remember going to my mom about this, like, what the hell? You know, and she was just like, well, it's, you know, written at a different time. I mean,
Well, I obviously did not have to go anybody and be like, what the hell? Because I was like, yeah, this is how everybody around me is, and everybody around me has read this and knows this story, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, like, there wasn't as big a problem with the N-word back then among white people.
yeah.
And so it was just all kinds of cringe-worthy, you know, now that I look back. But I don't think, my point is just that I don't necessarily think that that's appropriate without proper context for an elementary school age kid. But
Yeah.
with proper context and, you know, adult sort of supervision, explanation from teachers, I think you could definitely do like the slave version, even if you don't want to do the N-word version. You know, I feel like there's a version of that that could be acceptable and taught within reason and be used as an example of these are the, like, this is what it means to have a racial stereotype, because lots of people get into adulthood like our age and then they're like, everything's about race, when they don't even realize that it is, you know what I mean? So I feel like they're losing an opportunity by banning that book in particular. And then, of course, you know, like, lots of banned books are by, you know, black authors and stuff like that. You know, Toni Morrison and all of that.
School dress codes and personal appearance
Oh, goody.
have long been controversial as they evolve to adjust to changing communities.
I'm so glad I don't have one.
Is often seen as discriminatory towards
You're a
girls.
boy. I bet you there's one for the girls.
School boards banning leggings and yoga pants on female students raised dissent among those who preferred to wear them. Standards on hangouts on skirts, length of shorts, tube tops, and clothing that can protest against often on social media. Types of clothes often banned by dress codes include t-shirts, their own messages considered offensive, hoodies, tagging pants, and hats promoting controversial positions. In 2018, a student at Maryland School showed up in class and delivered baggy jeans. The teacher, presumably offended by the skin exposed violent tears, ordered the 7th grade covered in duct tape. Across the country,
What?
students pushed back against similar actions by school authorities and administrators, arguing that female students and those of colour as we have violation. Freedom of speech in public schools is both a topic of study and a right held by students. According to the United States Supreme Court, students in public schools, quote, do not share their constitutional rights to freedom of speech and expression at the schoolhouse gate. Yet school administrators often exercise their obligation to limit freedom of expression when it threatens the rights of others or is disruptive of the school environment. Such limits raise cries of violations of the rights of the students unlimited. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, students retain the right to speak their opinions on abortion or in support of certain social activities of their beliefs. Yet many school systems attempt to restrict them under community pressure. Schools ban and do restrict freedom of expression in a myriad of ways. They can't ban free speech, but they can ban speech that is slanderous. They can ban expression which is considered obscene or pornographic. If they want to ban hats supportive of a specific message, they must ban the wearing of all hats. In short, while learning of the rights guaranteed by
Wait, they have to?
Yeah. Because if it's not fair for you to say whatever it is you want to say on your hat, then it's not fair for me to wear whatever I want to say on my hat.
What if it's just like a blank hat?
I mean, a blank hat sounds like it would be fine. You can't wear a hat with writing on it, is what it works out to. It's the same thing with like offensive t-shirts. They just make it to where you can't wear a t-shirt with anything on it. I remember when the kid got in trouble for, wasn't that like a Deadpool shirt with like Deadpool and, yeah.
I remember being like, what?
What's the problem here
I
again?
mean, it makes sense to me in retrospect, but I do recall at the time being like, wow, okay.
That's kind of
Yeah, I
dumb.
think it was like those because they had weapons on it, it was quote unquote horrifying violence.
Bro, it's Deadpool.
Does Texas even teach their students about climate change?
Global warming is, quote, a scientific theory rather than a proven fact. Well, argument against
That's how I learned it too.
teachers aren't unprepared to do so.
That makes me unreasonably mad.
Climate and weather
How back in the day, you just
Okay, that's just slightly funny.
It as like climate change is anxiety-ridden scientists trying to freak us out and like intrude on industrialization and economic development and blah blah blah, and it's just like, you know, whatever the hippies are outraged about lately kind
So
of
basically,
thing.
get your textbooks written by like Trump.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
The Centers for Disease Control recommend teaching healthcare to students at the elementary and secondary levels. They base their recommendations on several issues, with primary being the clear connection between early education and research, helping to reduce health risk and pre-disease teenagers. Yet healthcare government's role in providing it to individuals remains controversial. The debate is simple. What is the role of the government and through government public schools in providing information?
Part of me feels like that this conversation is like a microcosm of what is wrong with everything all over the country today.
I mean, like, what's wrong with anything, like, at any time? Like,
Well, it's really depending on who you're talking to.
oh yeah, true.
Getting a stunning coma. I'm a little loud for you to leave.
So what do they teach you about healthcare in schools?
They don't teach us anything.
Does that shock you at all?
Do they teach you about like transmissible diseases and germs?
Okay, that's the funny thing because, so we have a thing where it's like, certain days in school, we have a live thing where it's like, we talk about, diseases and, like, health and stuff. But, like, they talk about, like, drugs and stuff, but, like, they fail to mention diseases.
Like drugs, like drug abuse, like
Yeah.
I mean, that's technically a disease,
yeah.
but
A mental one.
I feel like there's also additional things that they could potentially be using that time to address that are perhaps more, you know,
helpful.
prescient.
Yeah, like maybe the importance of like this is why you have to wash your hands. This is why,
Yeah, pretty much all they do to like let us know what basically what they say is like wash your hands because we said so. No reasoning. It's just like we said so.
Well, I'm sure that opening the conversation up into germs leads to vaccines, leads to angry parents, blah, blah, blah. I mean, schools are really damned if they do, damned if they don't, because you know that for every parent like us that wants that stuff to be taught to our kid, there's a parent on the other side that is like, no, it seems like the parents that don't want that kind of stuff taught in schools are the parents that are like, I don't, believe that.
yeah.
So, like, if they don't believe that hand washing is helpful or that COVID exists or that whatever, like, I can almost guarantee you that years from now, there will be controversy over whether to include COVID in history textbooks in schools because there's going to be this huge portion, or how to portray January 6th. You know what I mean?
What was January 6th?
When they stormed the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to disrupt the counting of the electoral college votes.
Yeah, and how is that going to be taught, like,
It was a fair vote. Trump's just a really big baby.
I mean, yes, but that's not, so basically when textbooks are created, there's like companies that create it and they present it to panels of like school board members and stuff like that have to approve it for their district. And that's why, like, your dad may learn something totally different in Michigan than what I learned in Florida. Because different regions of the country, like, literally teach things according to their own regional perspectives.
And that's why Florida has just recently banned, like, 54 math textbooks because they thought that they were unfairly representing white people.
Yes. In math textbooks. And...
That seemed like...
Yeah, I know. And so all of that like really influences what kids are taught, and what you guys learn in school is kind of what you grow up believing is real until you hit someplace like college where you get an alternative viewpoint, at more of an advanced level. But lots of people don't go to college, and I feel like maybe that's one of the downsides. Like, I was fortunate enough to be a reader, so I went and read all the opinions. But if you didn't go to college and you're not proactive enough to research that kind of stuff, like, what do? You just go around thinking that the South, lost the Civil War just barely, and it was because of, how right we were.
We died of...
Now it's like, you don't even know. If people try to do research now on the internet, it's hard because you run into so many fucking, biased articles. And, it's like people
Cough, Karens.
Stuff.
And who do you believe? You know what I mean? Like, the thing that... because some of them are really convincing. They're not all from, like, your Uncle Bob Joe and highly suspect looking. Yeah. Some of them look like they come from legitimate news organizations and things like that, and then you really do get into, who do you trust, and, like, for me, I'm more willing to trust mainstream sources, like mainstream news, mainstream, whatever, but then there's a whole section of our country that's like, no, the mainstream media is evil, and I'm like, okay, maybe they sensationalize things, maybe they frame things